Most people think writing a book is about them, their ideas, their story, their achievements. But here's the truth hardly anyone talks about. Your industry needs your book more than you think. And I don't mean it in this like weird, like motivational way. I mean it literally. Like there are people in your industry right now, today, who are confused, overwhelmed, misinformed, or even they're trying to grow, and the knowledge sitting in your head, that is the missing link. But because you haven't written your book yet, those people are either struggling longer than they need to, or they're learning from the wrong people. So in this video, I'm going to talk about why your industry actually needs your book, not just why you might want to write one. So there's a knowledge gap that only you can fill. Every industry has one thing in common, that there's a huge gap between what people need to know and what's actually being taught. So you've probably noticed it. Maybe you've said things like, why is no one talking about this? Or why is everyone teaching it the hard way? Why is all the advice outdated? Why does no one explain the part that actually matters? And those moments of frustration, they're actually clues, right? They're indicators that your perspective of the way of doing things hasn't been articulated properly in your industry yet. And you might think, oh, but somebody else already wrote about this. It doesn't matter. They didn't write your angle. They haven't written from your perspective, your experiences. They didn't explain it the way you do, and they didn't connect the dots your way. Your industry doesn't need another book. It needs your book, because your brain solves things differently, right? And everyone connects to different people. Now, your industry is full of noise, but low on leadership. And what do I mean by that? Like most industries today, they have content everywhere. They got podcasts, short videos, how-to posts, inspirational quotes. But here's what they don't have enough of: leaders, not influencers, leaders. So people who take responsibility for setting the standards, all right? People who document what works, and people who push the industry forward instead of recycling the same talking points. A book is that line in the sand. So when you write your book, you are going to draw the line in the sand and say, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is what my industry needs right now. So that line in the sand, what you're actually saying is, I'm not here to be part of the noise, I'm here to set the standard and the direction. And the moment you publish a book, people are going to look at you differently. You're not just in the industry anymore, you're helping shaping it, right? You're shaping the future of your industry. You're contributing to the foundation the next generation will learn from. And every industry needs people willing to do that. Now, every industry needs clarity. So every field, no matter what it is, whether it's coaching, consulting, fitness, finance, or leadership, whatever becomes confusing as it grows. So suddenly there are too many methods, too many opinions, too many gurus, right? Too many people teaching things they haven't mastered themselves. Your book becomes the clarity in that chaotic environment. So you don't do it by preaching, you're not shouting louder, you're doing it by something that is super powerful. You are organizing the truth. And what do I mean by that? You're taking what you've learned over years of real experience and packaging it into a structure that people can understand, trust, and act on. Your industry needs that clarity. So people are drowning right now in information, but starving for direction. And your book is going to become that lighthouse, that beacon. So when you write your book, think about that. Think about the clarity that you are going to provide your industry in a world full of information and noise. Now, your book also elevates everyone below you, and in a good way, right? So people underestimate how much a single book can reshape a profession. When one person documents a clear way of doing things, it raises the standard for the entire field. So it forces lazy educators to step up. It gives beginners a proper foundation to begin, and it gives clients better expectations, all right? And this is something that most people never consider. So your book just doesn't help readers, it helps the profession mature. So your industry progresses because someone, maybe even you, decided to become the one who defines the new normal. And books do that. Not posts, not reels, not quotes. Books do that. Now, the internet is also a crazy place. There are people who need a mentor that they will never meet. Now, one of the most beautiful things about writing a book is this: Your reader doesn't need access to you to be changed by you. So there are people in your industry you'll never coach, you'll never consult, you'll never talk to, you'll never meet in person, but they'll pick up your book years from now and it will give them direction at a moment they desperately needed it. That's influential, that's legacy, and that is impact. So your book becomes the mentor that they couldn't afford, couldn't find, or didn't know they needed. And your industry needs that kind of leadership. And that kind of leadership is what's going to help you eliminate the wrong ideas. So every industry has bad advice floating around, and sometimes the most dangerous advice isn't obviously wrong, it's almost right. Close enough to sound convincing, but wrong enough to create real damage. So if you're watching this, you probably have a mission inside you that says people deserve the truth, they deserve better. And your book becomes the correction, right? Not by attacking, not by calling people out, but by presenting the right way, clearly, confidently, and simply. It's not about tearing other industries down or other coaches down. It's about lifting the entire industry back to integrity. Your book becomes the anchor point. And if you care that much about your industry, you are going to write an amazing book. Because what you're also going to do when you become an author, you're going to give your industry like language. So this one's huge, but almost no one ever talks about it. I mean, industries evolve when someone gives new concepts the words that they deserve. So it could be a phrase, a metaphor, a framework. These things become part of the industry's vocabulary, and suddenly everyone communicates better. They make decisions faster. They understand problems sooner. They recognize patterns clearer. Your book can introduce language your industry didn't have yet. So that alone can then shift the direction of thousands of people. And your industry needs someone to define things. So why not you? You're the one who wants to write the book. You're passionate enough about your industry. Why not you? And your industry also needs proof that experience still matters. We live in a world where someone can watch a few YouTube videos, learn buzzwords, copy frameworks, call themselves an expert by the weekend. And the people who've been in the trenches, who've made the mistakes, who've solved the real problems, who have lived through the failures and the rebuilds, those people are the ones who need to be heard from, okay? You can put that in your book. Your book becomes the evidence that expertise, real expertise, still matters, and your industry needs that desperately. Because if only the loudest voices publish books, the industry becomes shallow. But if the right voices publish books, the industry becomes strong. Now you're probably watching this wondering, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to write a book yet, but you're more ready than you think. The last reason your industry needs your book is because you are far more qualified to write the book than you think. Most people hesitate because they believe my journey's not complete yet. I don't know everything. I'm still learning. Who am I to write a book? And here is who you are. You are someone who's further ahead than the person you're meant to help. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to do it. Your industry needs people who actually give a shit, people who think deeply, people who want to raise the standard, people who want to pass on clarity, not confusion. Your book is exactly how you do that. And the truth is, your industry is waiting for you. It just doesn't know it yet. So the whole message of this video is simple. Your book isn't just a branding play. It's not just a marketing tool. It's not just a personal milestone. It's a contribution. It's a responsibility, it's a legacy, and your industry needs it more than you realize. And if you're thinking, okay, it's actually time I write my book, then get my copy of Publish to Impact below in the notes. It's my best-selling book, and honestly, it's your pathway to becoming a published author in 6 months. And it's the exact framework I use with my Idea to Impact clients who help them become published authors in 6 months. So if you enjoyed this video, make a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you again on the next one.